Hey guys, Mr. Gucci here to help you with the second half of this worksheet, number 11 through 20. Now, in this portion, I give you a sadistic Sudoku from hell, and this is a pH Sudoku. I'm either going to give you the concentration of the acid, the power of the acid, the pH, or the concentration of the base, or the power of the base, the pOH. And I'm going to have you find the other information here, including whether it's acidic or basic. Now, let's show you how this goes. I'm going to do the odd ones here, or as many as I can before the bell rings in 10 minutes. Let's go. So, let's say you have this information right here. You have that the solution has a pH of 5. What else can you figure out? Well, what you can figure out is if you know the pH, you can figure out the pOH, because pH plus pOH equals 14. So if you know the pH is 5, the pOH has to be what? 5 plus what equals 14? The answer is boop, boop, 9. So we know that the pOH is 9. Let me just unbold this a little bit. Let me make it a little bit smaller. Boom, 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 boom. So the pOH is 9. What else can we figure out? Well, we know that if the pH is 5, that's less than 7. And if you're lower than 7, you are acidic. Remember, you must be higher than 7 to be basic, all right? You remember the joke. I don't need to repeat it a 15th time. All right, let's go on to number 13. Master Gucci, you left a blank one here. Quiet. We'll deal with that in a little bit, okay? So let's take a look at number 13. Now, we know that the concentration of this base is 10 to the negative 4th molar. All right. If we know the concentration of the base, we can figure out the power of the base, the pOH. The pOH is just the negative log of whatever the base concentration is. So, negative log of 10 raised to the negative 4, you will get that the pOH is 4. That's what you should get, all right? And now if the pOH is 4, we can figure out what the pH is, because pH plus pOH equals 14. So 4 plus what is 14? 10, Mr. Gucci. Yeah, that's an easy one. That's like a Dora the Explorer question right there, okay? The pH is 10. The pH is 10. And if the pH is 10, well, this just lines right up with the joke. You're basic. You're basic. If the pH is 10, you're basic. If you're above 7, you're basic. All right, let's move on to the next one. Mr. Gucci, there's your Mr. Note. Quiet, quiet, quiet. All right, let's take a look at number 17. Number 17. In this case, you got the concentration of the base again. All right, but it's a weird number. It's not a nice, easy decimal. It's 0.00034. So if we know the concentration of the base, you can find the power of the base by taking the negative log. Negative log of 0.0034. What do you get? Now, I know for a fact that, let's see here, if you bounce 2 times, you have a number less than 1. If you bounce 3 times, you have a number more than 1. So you're going to get some number between 2 and 3, because it takes between 2 or 3 bounces to get to 1. So if I just go and put log of negative, yep, between 2 and 3, 2.47 in fact. All right, so the pOH here is 2.47. That is the pOH. That is the power of the base here. Now, if you know the power of the base, you could figure out the pH. The power of the acid plus the power of the base equals 14. So, a pH plus 2.47 would give you 14. All right, how are we going to solve this? Well, we'll just take 14 and we'll subtract 2.47, and mental math drum roll, you should get 11.53. All right, that is your pH, because 11.53 plus 2.47 gets you 14. So the pH is lining up, all right? 11.53. There you go. That is the pH, all right? Now, is it acidic or basic? Well, the pH is greater than 7, so it's basic. All right. So, in conclusion, we're done. Just kidding. Just kidding. I told you I'd tackle these ones right here. How the heck do we find the molarity of the base? How do we find the molarity of the acid here? How do we find the molarity of the acid down here? What are we doing for this? Well, listen. To find the pH, you would just take the negative log of the concentration of the acid, okay? But if you want to find the concentration of the acid, you take 10 and you raise it to the negative pH. That's how you undo a log. You undo a log by doing 10 raised to your answer. Just like the opposite of addition is subtraction, and the opposite of multiplication is division, the opposite of log is exponents. So we want to figure out the concentration of the base. You just take 10 and you raise it to the negative pOH. All right. So it's 10 raised to negative 9. All right. 10 to the negative 9th. This is 1 times 10 to the negative 9th. That is the concentration of this base. All right. If the pOH is 9, then we know that the concentration of the base must be 1 times 10 to the negative 9th molar. In non-scientific notation, that's 0.000000001 molar. Okay, but of course you don't need to write that out all the way. You can just use the scientific notation. That's what we put it there for. Okay. How about this? What's the concentration of the acid in this solution? How strong are the H plus ions? What's the molarity? Well, it's going to be the P here, the concentration of the base, the concentration of the acid is going to equal 10 raised to the negative log. It's going to be 10 raised to the P negative pH. All right, cool. All right, it's this equation right up here. So let's just do that. Let's just do what is 10 raised to the negative 10? And the answer is 1 times 10 raised to the negative 10th. All right, that's it. That ain't so bad. Now, these have been easy numbers so far. These have been easy numbers. What about something trickier? Like, what in God's name must the concentration of acid be to get you a pH of 11.53? Well, once again, we're just going to take 10 and we are going to raise it to the negative pH. 10 raised to the negative 11.53. What is 10 raised to negative 11.53? This is a Google problem. All right. The answer is 2.95 times 10 to the negative 12th. Boom. All right. So it's 12.95. Did I get that right? I got to go back and look at it. Oh, 2.95 times 10 to the negative 12th. All right. That is the molarity of the acid in the solution. Guys, I know it's weird. I know I've introduced some mathematical concepts that seem abstract, and maybe you're not exactly following all of them. You know what? I don't blame you. This stuff mathematically is a little bit tricky, especially at the end of the year here, okay? So if you can't quite understand what's going on with this, just do the math and trust the numbers. You will have the equations on the final. Speaking of, to those of you that made it to the end of this video, I have some special insight for you, and it's this. This exact problem set will be featured on your final. That's right. You will have a sadistic acid-base Sudoku on your final exam. So, if for no other reason to do this, this will directly reflect what will be on your final. You will have a set of these, okay? So if that doesn't motivate you to sprint across the finish line and finish this year strong, I don't know what will. I love you, okay? Good luck to all of you, and bye.